In the darkness, Xiao Yin gave a cold snort. "Do it." Immediately, an incredibly dazzling flame erupted from both of their bodies. The flames surrounding the two of them were each composed of 23 colors, enveloping their entire forms. The terrifying heat caused the temperature of the pitch-black passageway to rise sharply. In the next moment, countless pairs of fiery red eyes appeared above them in the dark passage. An overwhelming aura of bloodthirsty savagery was born instantly. The eyes belonged to the dark bats, who locked onto Xiao Yin and Little E with an intense gaze. Being targeted by such a large number of them, even with their strong resolve, the two felt a chill run down their spines. The dark bats began emitting a shrill, ear-piercing screech filled with crazed excitement. The passageway was extremely narrow, and as soon as the flames from the two appeared, the entire space was illuminated, revealing its true form. To their shock, the passage was completely filled with dark bats. Suspended upside down within the passage, their small bodies flickered with an eerie flame in their abdomens. Though the flame seemed small, the power it contained was terrifying. In the blink of an eye, the surrounding dark bats rushed toward Xiao Yin and Little E like they had found a feast, throwing themselves at them recklessly. "These dark bats are truly overwhelming in number," Little E remarked, astonished by the countless black dots swarming toward them. "But they're only one-star Do-D dark bats, nothing to worry about." Even with his calm nature, Little E couldn't help but click his tongue at the sheer number of enemies. "Shall we go?" Little E asked in a low voice. "Wait a little longer," Xiao Yin replied, his eyes fixed on the increasing number of dark bats above them. "This isn't enough yet." A few breaths later, Xiao Yin spoke calmly. "Now, let's move." The dark bats had drawn dangerously close, and their numbers were finally sufficient. In an instant, the two flame-covered figures burst forth at high speed, heading toward the location of the stone giant. They kept a moderate pace, ensuring the dark bats would keep chasing them. The dark bats, without hesitation, hurled themselves at Xiao Yin and Little E, entirely captivated by the deadly allure of the flames. "They're coming." Mu Yingying's group stood at the farthest point from the stone giant, and as soon as they saw the brilliant flames appear from the dark passage, they exchanged a glance. "Get ready," Mu Feng signaled with his eyes. "If anything goes wrong, we'll..." He tensed up, knowing that in this unfamiliar place, letting their guard down for even a second could be fatal. Boom, boom, boom. "Move," Xiao Yin shouted coldly. The flames on their bodies fused together, and without hesitation, Xiao Yin hurled the combined fireball toward the stone giant. "Let's see how you handle this," Xiao Yin muttered as the flames hit their mark. Without wasting time, he swiftly descended toward the corner where Mu Yingying's group waited, activating both his powerful soul force and Do Qi as protection. Just as Xiao Yin left, the dark bats, like ravenous ghosts, crashed into the stone giant without hesitation, drawn irresistibly to the flames. Bang! 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 The piercing sound of collisions echoed through the space. The dark bats, moving too fast, smashed into the stone giant, their bodies disintegrating into dust upon impact. From within the dust, terrifying flames exploded, striking the stone giant. However, the stone giant absorbed the flames almost instantly. "I'd like to see how much you can absorb," Xiao Yin thought coldly. More dark bats crashed into the stone giant, raising clouds of dust with each impact. Meanwhile, the flames on the stone giant didn't immediately extinguish. They continued to burn for several seconds before being snuffed out by some mysterious force on its surface. But a few seconds was all they needed. The dark bats, moving at blinding speed, collided with the stone giant one after another. Even though the flames on the stone giant were extinguished, the bats couldn't stop in time, continuing to smash into it. Boom, boom, boom. Waves of searing flame rippled from the stone giant's surface, and with each suicidal bat strike, faint cracks began to appear on the previously impenetrable stone. These dark bats possess considerable flame and spatial power, but their intelligence is far too low from living in this dark space for so long. Right now, they're just throwing their lives away, Mu Feng commented. "Look, Lu Di," her serpent bloodline awakening within her, noted. Every time a dark bat hits the stone giant, its mysterious power turns them to dust instantly. But even in death, they release terrifying bursts of flame. A single bat might not be much, but with hundreds or thousands of them, the combined power is incredible. It seems our plan is working, Xiaoyan said slowly, though his heart held a trace of concern. His soul force surged out once more, forming an invisible barrier around the group, shielding them from the deadly energy the bats left behind. It's about to blow, someone muttered, and the dark bats, sensing something was wrong, stopped their suicidal assault. But by this time, the cracks on the stone giant's body had grown significantly more visible. Little E, let's give it one final push, Xiaoyan shouted. Without waiting for a response, he sealed the exit they had entered through, and an intense wave of flame energy burst forth. Got it. Little E, understanding Xiaoyan's intention, summoned a brilliant flame into his palm. Go! Break! Both Xiaoyan and Little Yi's powerful voices echoed through the space. Dust rose as a volcanic aura of destruction filled the air. Boom! 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 The combined force of the dark bat's sacrificial flames and the fiery attack from Xiaoyan and Little E struck the stone giant. Cracks spread across the giant's surface as a series of shattering sounds echoed. Bang! 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 In the next moment, the stone giant blocking their path collapsed, crumbling into dust. Everyone, stay alert. The stone giant is down, but there might be more, Xiaoyan warned, his eyes scanning the area. At that moment, a voice from behind, coming from the dragon spirit within Xiaoyan's ancient ruler, sent a shiver down his spine. There's a trace of extraterritorial evil clan energy here. Elder Dragon? Xiaoyan's pupils contracted, and an indescribable chill crept into his heart. The extraterritorial evil clan. This is the enemy of all humanity. Not just humanity, the extraterritorial evil clan is the enemy of all 7 realms. The fear and destruction brought upon by the extraterritorial evil clan across the 7 realms were still vivid in everyone's memory. No matter the internal strife within the 7 realms, when faced with the extraterritorial evil clan, all grievances were set aside, and they worked together to fight back. Everyone understood that once the extraterritorial evil clan made their move, chaos would follow. Without a strong realm, how could families be safe? Without the pinnacle experts maintaining balance in the 7 realms, there would be no stability in the lower, middle, and upper realms. I'm not entirely sure, but that faint trace of evil black energy on the stone giant just now gave me a sense of something. Dragon Yi's voice was filled with uncertainty. If this really is the extraterritorial evil clan, then it will be difficult to find what I'm looking for here, Xiaoyan said cautiously. Watch out. Xiaoyan was still engrossed in his conversation with Dragon Yi when an urgent voice suddenly broke through. Defend quickly. Mu Yingying shrieked frantically, clearly having noticed something. What? Little E and the others were confused by Mu Yingying's sudden outburst. Just as they turned their heads to investigate, something unexpected occurred. The downed stone giant suddenly emitted a ring of black sound waves from its eyes. The black sound waves seemed to contain another kind of power, expanding rapidly just as the stone giant collapsed. Ah! Little E let out a sudden, agonizing scream. How is this possible? Little E was in shock. As a fire spirit, with senses far superior to humans, he was stunned to find that his usual torrential inner flame had suddenly frozen. It was as if his fire had been sealed, leaving behind an empty furnace that once held blazing flames. Little E was deeply shaken. He was a powerful 8-star Do D. To suppress him like this, the opponent's power must be terrifying beyond imagination. At the same time, Mu Feng, Lu Di, and the others clutched their heads in pain, their faces contorted with suffering. Only Xiaoyan and Mu Yingying seemed slightly better off. What's happening? Xiaoyan was the first to speak. I don't know, Mu Yingying replied coldly, her sharp gaze fixed on the pile of rubble that was once the stone giant. There's something strange going on, Xiaoyan said sternly as he followed her gaze, observing the heap of rocks that had once been the stone giant. There must be something odd about these stones, Xiaoyan concluded. There's definitely something sinister here, something similar to the energy of the extraterritorial evil clan. Evil to the core, it unsettles the soul. The ancient ruler of flames in Xiaoyan's hand glowed faintly with a profound crimson flame, enveloping Xiaoyan and shielding him from the strange sound waves. Meanwhile, Mu Yingying's body was also cloaked in a soft, cerulean flame. What? The energy of the extraterritorial evil clan? Xiaoyan's heart raced. His master, the Golden Dragon King, and his teacher, Emperor Tuasha, had both warned him that the extraterritorial evil clan was a force of pure evil. If he encountered them here, with his current strength, it would be certain death. Don't worry, Xiaoyan. The Golden Dragon King entrusted you to me. I'll risk my life before I let anything happen to you, Dragony reassured him, seeing the concern in Xiaoyan's eyes. Thank you, Elder Dragon. Just help me at the critical moment. Though it's the extraterritorial evil clan, as the Flame Emperor, I'm not afraid. Xiaoyan's words brimmed with pride and resolve. As Xiaoyan regained his fighting spirit, Little E and the others suddenly collapsed, unconscious. What's happening? Xiaoyan was bewildered by the sudden turn of events. Don't worry. That black sound wave was likely just a test from the guardian of this place. Though for some reason, it became corrupted by evil energy. As for your companions, they've just fainted. Nothing too serious, Dragony explained calmly. All right. Xiaoyan nodded, using his powerful soul force to check on the three, confirming that Dragon E was correct. There were no major issues. He sighed in relief. Elder Dragon, is there something wrong here? Xiaoyan turned his attention back to the shattered stone giant. At this point, the stone giant, after absorbing the majority of the sacrificial flames from the dark bats, had reached its absorption limit. When Xiaoyan and Little E unleashed their full-force attack, the giant, unable to withstand the overwhelming power, exploded. After the explosion, fragments of white stone, varying in size and shape, were scattered everywhere. The path that had been blocked by the stone giant was now clear. In the distance, the passage still appeared to stretch into endless darkness. However, Xiaoyan wasn't concerned with what lay beyond the tunnel just yet. There were more pressing matters to deal with. Let's go take a look. Xiaoyan's voice was tense with caution. His hand hovered over the handle of his ancient ruler of flames, ready to draw it and unleash a thunderous strike at the first sign of danger. Be careful. These stones seem to contain some kind of power. Even my sacred flame is struggling to deal with it, Mu Yingying said, biting her lip as she watched the stones with unease. Understood. Xiaoyan nodded in agreement. Let's move forward. Although there's a trace of the extraterritorial evil clan's energy here, my investigation hasn't revealed any signs of the clan itself, Elder Dragon said after a brief pause, addressing Xiaoyan directly. 1 step, 2 steps. With each step, Xiaoyan could feel the powerful thudding of his own heartbeat. What is this? Xiaoyan muttered as he bent down and picked up a piece of the white stone from the shattered remains of the stone giant. It was a pale rock, and as he held it, Xiaoyan didn't immediately sense anything unusual. Look at the back. Mu Yingying's voice suddenly broke through, her tone heavy with rare seriousness. Her beautiful face, usually soft like a blossoming peach, had now grown stern and grave. What is it? Xiaoyan asked in confusion. He shifted his hand slightly, slowly flipping the white stone over. The moment he saw the other side, Xiaoyan's brow furrowed deeply. His expression darkened instantly, disbelief flashing across his face. When Xiaoyan turned over the white stone, what appeared was a grotesque, eerie face. It resembled a human face with sharp, angular features, its eyes closed and a sinister smile curling at the corners of its mouth. Around the edges of the white stone, thick black energy swirled ominously. Extraterritorial evil clan? Xiaoyan's shocked exclamation echoed through the small space. Mu Yingying, startled by his reaction, asked in confusion, Extraterritorial evil clan? What is that? Xiaoyan quickly put down the white stone and glanced hesitantly at Mu Yingying, who was surrounded by her cerulean sacred flame. How could Mu Yingying, who possessed sacred flame, not know about the extraterritorial evil clan? The clan was a well-known enemy of the Seven Realms, feared by all. Was she ignorant, or was there something else going on? After all, someone who controlled sacred flame couldn't possibly be clueless. A series of questions weighed heavily on Xiao Yan's mind. He shook his head slightly before speaking in a serious tone to Mu-Ying, the extraterritorial evil clan. We live within the great thousand worlds, but beyond it exists countless evil beings. They constantly seek to invade our planes, and each invasion brings unimaginable destruction and suffering. These creatures are collectively known as the Extraterritorial Evil Clan, Xiao Yan explained calmly, though his voice carried a weight of gravity. Are they truly that evil? Mu-Ying murmured, her thoughts seemingly elsewhere. Perhaps. But I believe that any race capable of throwing entire planes into chaos and slaughtering countless lives must be more horrifying than what we've seen so far, Xiao Yan responded. Mu-Ying hummed softly in acknowledgement. She crouched slightly, gracefully extending her delicate hand toward the white stone. Wait, what are you doing? Be careful. Xiao Yan called out in alarm. That stone still carries a trace of evil energy. If it seeps into your body, it could cause serious trouble. Although the evil energy left on the stone was only residual, the faint, terrifying aura it emitted had already startled Xiao Yan. It's fine, don't forget about my flame, Mu-Ying replied casually, her eyes fixed on the sinister face etched on the back of the white stone. Sizzle! Streams of cerulean flames began to flow from Mu-Ying's palm, engulfing the white stone. As soon as the flames touched the evil face, the face seemed to come to life, letting out a vicious growl. Sacred flame? A malevolent voice echoed throughout the narrow space. Perish! Mu-Ying remained unfazed by the voice, intensifying the power of her cerulean flames. The sacred flame burned fiercely, and the sinister face on the white stone began to melt away. What was that sound just now? Xiao Yan asked, watching Mu-Ying but not stopping her. It must have been what you referred to as the extraterritorial evil clan, but the evil energy in this stone is too weak to be a real threat, Mu-Ying said, her breath slightly labored after using her flame to evaporate the evil face from the stone. Be careful. This place seems far from safe, Xiao Yan said in a low voice. Understood. Their unconsciousness was most likely caused by that evil face. Now that it's been dispelled, they should wake up soon, Mu-Ying explained. Big brother, what just happened? As the evil face on the stone evaporated, little E and the others began to stir, regaining consciousness. However, their bodies were sore, and they had no memory of what occurred after the black sound wave knocked them out. It's nothing, just a minor complication, Xiao Yan replied with a calm smile. Mu-Ying's sharp eyes narrowed slightly at Xiao Yan's response, clearly puzzled by his decision to withhold information. Xiao Yan chose not to tell them about the extraterritorial evil clan for a reason. He didn't want to alarm them. After all, Elder Zhu had entrusted these four to him, and Xiao Yan couldn't afford to let anything happen to them. If everything's fine, let's move on, Xiao Yan said. I have a feeling there are valuable treasures ahead, but don't you dare compete with me when we find them, haha, Mu Feng joked with a grin. Let's go. I'll lead the way, little E. You cover the rear. If anything happens, prioritize escape. Xiao Yan's expression turned serious as he gave instructions to the group. Got it, Lu Di and the others nodded, aware that the desert was no ordinary place. After all, it was one of the 3 deadliest regions in the desolate Death Desert. With light steps, they quietly moved forward, careful not to make any noise. They circled around the piles of white stones that were once the stone giant and pressed on. This should be the entrance to the desert. What we just went through was a mere test, or perhaps just the trial to enter this desolate region, Xiao Yan remarked from the front, his pupils flickering with flame as he looked back at the others. That black sound wave earlier seemed to be a kind of restriction. I could sense that this desert likely bars any expert above the level of a 7-star Do Di, Lu Di observed, still shaken by the earlier encounter with the sound wave. The black sound wave had felt like a probe, testing their strength. If anyone exceeded the limit of a 7-star Do Di, they would have been immediately expelled. That makes sense, though I'm a bit special, Little E said, noticing Lu Di's curious gaze. As a fire spirit, Little Yi's power had already reached the level of an 8-star Do D, surpassing the restriction. However, thanks to his fire spirit nature and Xiao Yan's inner flame, he wasn't expelled. Even Little Yi wasn't entirely sure why. Xiao Yan, be careful. There might really be a powerful figure from the extraterritorial evil clan in here, and I don't think you're strong enough to deal with him right now, the ancient ruler of flames in Xiao Yan's hand warned. A powerful figure from the extraterritorial evil clan? Xiao Yan was taken aback. As they moved further down the previously blocked path, Xiao Yan could faintly sense something. His flame mantra seemed to stir slightly, and even the ghostly weapon in his hand was emitting a faintly greedy energy. Elder Dragon, just how strong is this figure from the extraterritorial evil clan? Xiao Yan asked, unwilling to give up hope. Very strong. At least as strong as I am, perhaps even stronger. Dragon Yi's voice was filled with gravity. What? Xiao Yan was stunned. If the figure from the extraterritorial evil clan was indeed stronger than Elder Dragon, no matter how tempting the treasures in the desert were, he would have no choice but to retreat. However, there's no need to worry. The evil energy of the extraterritorial evil clan is exceptionally dark and vile, but your inner flame can suppress it. Plus, I believe the soul-devouring talisman in your possession will have a significant effect on them. And don't forget about Mu Yingying's cerulean sacred flame. Though I'm not sure which sacred flame it is from the sacred flame rankings, it's clear that sacred flames are particularly effective at suppressing the extraterritorial evil clan, Dragon Yi added as he saw Xiao Yan deep in thought. With all of this, even if this desert is a den of dragons and tigers, I, Xiao Yan, will charge right in. Xiao Yan declared boldly, undaunted by the threat. This is strange. Why does it feel like the path is getting longer? After walking for some time, they began to notice something unusual. Wait a moment. I think this is a circular passage. No matter how far we walk, we'll keep returning to the same place, Mu Feng said, revealing his expertise in such matters. And even the entrance we came through has vanished without a trace. Little Yi remarked softly. Everyone, spread out and look around. There must be some mechanism here. I've checked, and with the sheer hardness of these walls, unless you're a 9-star Do D, you wouldn't be able to break through them, Mu Feng suggested. Upon hearing this, the group dispersed. Each person was surrounded by their own distinct Do Qi aura, yet the circular passage remained eerily silent, with no creatures like the dark bats in sight. The oppressive stillness was unsettling. Over here, Xiao Yan muttered as he walked, using his inner flame to illuminate the walls. As the firelight flickered across the uneven surface, something strange caught his eye. Along the wall, a bizarre image suddenly appeared in Xiao Yan's line of sight. What is this? Xiao Yan stepped closer and realized it was a painting, a rather eerie one. The painting was perfectly square, about a meter in width and height. But what made it truly disturbing was that it depicted only one thing. A colossal hand descending from the sky, pressing down on the ground below. What is this? Xiao Yan murmured as he examined the painting. But as his gaze focused on the giant hand in the image, a sense of insignificance washed over him. Wait, something's not right. In the next moment, Xiao Yan sensed something strange. He brought his face closer to the painting and discovered something even more peculiar. Upon closer inspection, he noticed that the colossal hand had its 5 fingers splayed wide, pressing downward. Initially, Xiao Yan thought it was just a hand. But now he saw a barely visible crack beneath it. Following the crack, he spotted a tiny figure, so lifelike it seemed to move. The creature's body shimmered with black and purple light, and it raised its hand, human-sized, to resist the descending giant hand. At the point where the creature's hand and the giant hand met, there seemed to be something, but it was too small to make out. What could this be? Xiao Yan was utterly baffled. Elder Dragon, do you know what this is? Xiao Yan asked internally. To be honest, I've never seen anything like this, Dragon Yi replied. Forget it. Let's focus on finding any hidden mechanisms nearby, Xiao Yan said, abandoning his investigation of the strange painting and preparing to move on. Click. The moment Xiao Yan lifted his left foot and took a step, a clear sound echoed through the space. As his foot landed, The deep-colored stone beneath him began to tremble, and the stone wall in front of him suddenly split open. Rumble. The walls on either side slowly pushed apart, revealing a new passage. "We found it," Xiaoyan called out, hesitating briefly before speaking. However, he noticed something strange. The painting had vanished. "The painting's gone," Xiaoyan shook his head, dismissing it for now as he motioned for the others to gather. The others weren't far from Xiaoyan, and as soon as they heard him, they quickly moved toward him. "Big brother," as expected. Little E arrived first, giving Xiaoyan's shoulder a playful pat with a grin. Xiaoyan could only shake his head in amusement. Little E always acted like a younger brother around him. "Is everyone here?" Xiaoyan asked as the group assembled. "Huh? What do you mean by that, Xiaoyan?" Mu Feng, who had just arrived, seemed to be studying the newly revealed passage carefully. "It's nothing, let's keep moving," Xiaoyan said, shaking his head, unsure why he had made that remark. "Wait a minute." Mu Yingying's cold voice cut through the air. "What is it?" Little E frowned, turning to her. "There's something strange about this place," Mu Yingying said firmly. "Stay alert. Let's go in and see," Xiaoyan commanded, releasing a surge of powerful flame energy as he stepped into the stone door. "Let's hope it's just my imagination," Mu Yingying muttered, shaking her head in an attempt to dismiss her concerns. Yet the small cerulean flame at her chest, hidden beneath her clothes, pulsed violently like a heartbeat. This reaction only occurred when faced with an opponent of overwhelming strength. However, the other members of the group remained unaware, their focus entirely on the passage ahead. Mu Yingying and the others followed after Xiaoyan. "Xiaoyan, why did you stop?" Mu Feng asked curiously as they had barely walked 10 steps before Xiaoyan halted. "There's a fork in the path up ahead," Xiaoyan said slowly, raising his hand to point at the two diverging paths. "Two roads." Mu Feng was surprised. Even he wasn't sure how to proceed. "These both lead to the core of the desert region, but I've heard from elders of the serpent tribe that the desolate death desert is full of uncertainties," Lu Di spoke up, examining the two paths carefully. "The most important thing I've heard is that both roads can lead to the heart of the desert, but what we'll encounter along the way is unpredictable," Lu Di continued. "This must be the entrance to the desert. No one knows what lies ahead, so to avoid accidents, we should stick together," Mu Yingying suggested, her gaze fixed on Xiaoyan. "We must move as one. But should we go left or right?" Xiaoyan asked, sensing the group's hesitation. He unleashed his powerful soul force, sending it sweeping down the two paths like an invisible wind. Time passed, but no information returned from either path. "Let's just pick one," Xiaoyan said casually, throwing his hands up. "No, that's too reckless. If we choose the wrong path, our situation could become even more difficult." Lu Di was the first to object. As someone who had lived among the Medusa tribe in the desolate Death Desert, she was well aware of the legends surrounding this place. These two paths were known as the Road of Danger and the Road of Safety. The Road of Danger was filled with countless unpredictable threats, while the Road of Safety not only promised more riches, but also the chance for great opportunities. "Do you have a better idea?" Xiaoyan asked, seeing no one else offering suggestions. "I don't." Lu Di was momentarily at a loss for words, realizing Xiaoyan had a point. "Then let's just pick one." With that, Xiaoyan confidently strode toward the left path. "Sigh," Lu Di sighed softly, as though about to say something, but Xiaoyan's reassuring voice interrupted her. "Don't worry. If we run into any real danger, I'll be the first to face it." The simple, calm voice of Xiaoyan brought warmth to everyone's hearts. "In that case, let's go." "Don't forget, we're a team," Lu Di added softly. Clearly, any concerns they had were dissolved by Xiaoyan's final words. Yes, they were part of Incense Pavilion, a team united and inseparable. This trial must have been something Elder Zhu arranged to temper them. After all, no individual strength is unlimited. Not everyone possessed the overwhelming ability of a battle array master, capable of taking on thousands by themselves. That's where the importance of teamwork came into play. Since Elder Zhu had sent them here, there was no reason to doubt that they could handle whatever lay ahead. "Let's move." The group nodded in agreement and followed Xiaoyan. As soon as the five of them stepped into the left passage, the two paths behind them vanished. "There's no turning back now," Mu Feng remarked with a helpless shrug. Swoosh. As Mu Feng spoke, the sound of wind suddenly echoed through the passage. Immediately, lamps on both sides of the dark corridor lit up, illuminating the path ahead. The tunnel was now brightly lit, and at the center of the passage, layers of small, elegant stones were carefully laid out. Who knew the owner of this place had such refined tastes? Little E observed, noticing that the stones paving the floor were far from ordinary, as were the lamps. "It seems the creatures of the desert knew we were coming and have been expecting us for some time," Xiaoyan said thoughtfully. "Xiaoyan, you mentioned earlier that you needed something specific. What exactly is it?" Mu Yingying asked attentively. "What I need right now is an isotribute magic core of an Imperial Class Rank 6 magical beast, along with its essence blood," Xiaoyan explained slowly. Devouring sacred flame was no trivial matter. Despite Mu Yingying's efforts to suppress the sacred flame within her, Xiaoyan could sense that it was far stronger than any heavenly flame. Without proper preparation, even Xiaoyan wouldn't dare attempt to absorb the sacred flame. According to some obscure records in the Flame Mantra and what his master, the Golden Dragon King, had told him, there were 3 essential materials needed to devour the sacred flame: the 7 flame flower, the rising sun pill, and the blood spirit ice essence. All 3 were indispensable. Xiaoyan had already obtained the blood spirit ice essence back in the forest of corpses, and though he only had a 3 flame flower, it was just enough to manage. What he was still missing was the rising sun pill, which required the magic core and essence blood of a rank 6 Imperial class beast. This was the main challenge Xiaoyan faced. An isotribute magical beast comparable to a 6-star Do D. Mu Yingying murmured, clearly deep in thought. "Let's head inside. I doubt the desert will disappoint us," Xiaoyan said with a reassuring smile, his voice carrying a mysterious, comforting strength. Within a few minutes, the group stepped out of the tunnel into a vast, open space. "This must be the desert region," Xiaoyan said as he stepped out of the passage and into an ancient forest. He glanced up and saw the enormous space stretching endlessly before them. Ahead of them were mountains, lakes, forests, and the faint presence of powerful, hidden energies. The lush green vegetation filled the air with a refreshing fragrance, making Xiaoyan and the others feel invigorated. "If my guess is correct, we've entered the desert mountains. It's said that once you pass through the gate of life, you'll encounter the desert mountains, where all the treasures of the desert are hidden," Lu Di explained softly, her tone indicating she had heard of this place during her time with the Medusa tribe. "A place where danger and opportunity coexist," she added. "The desert mountains, huh?" Xiaoyan was surprised that Lu Di knew about such a secret. "The air here is so refreshing," Mu Yingying exclaimed joyfully, her voice light and carefree, like a child's innocent laughter. "Take it slow," Xiaoyan called after her, following her with a slight smile. But he muttered to himself, "Why is there no trace of any other life here? Is it just my imagination?" Little E and the others spread out their attention, carefully surveying their surroundings. The unknown was always the most terrifying thing. "Strange. It feels like there's water flowing nearby." As soon as the group started moving, Xiaoyan's immense soul force spread out, probing the area. However, the range of his detection only extended a few hundred meters, but what he discovered frustrated him. According to Xiaoyan's findings, they were at the base of the mountain. As for the mountain peak, it seemed to be shrouded by something massive, but the thick fog surrounding the mountain made it difficult for Xiaoyan to see or investigate any further. They were standing on a small hill roughly 50 meters in diameter, surrounded by streams of water. "We've entered the desert mountains. Stay alert and don't get separated," Xiaoyan cautioned, his eyes sweeping the area. Upon hearing this, Mu Yingying turned and said, "The air here really is refreshing, but something feels off. I can't shake this strange feeling that something's not right." As she spoke, Mu Yingying slightly tilted her flawless, snow-white forehead upward, exposing the smooth curve of her neck. When her eyes fell on the mountain peak, her eyelids twitched violently, as if she had seen something terrifying. In an instant, the cerulean flames within her body ignited and enveloped her. A protective aura burst forth, emitting a powerful, automatic defensive force. What's happening? Xiaoyan, seeing her reaction, immediately became alert. A wave of unease swept over him. Suddenly, he turned around and saw that the lake surrounding the small hill had started to tremble. Although the tremors were faint, they didn't escape Xiaoyan's sharp senses. Little E, Lu Di Mu Feng, get out of here now. Leave this hill surrounded by water. Xiaoyan shouted, as if he had just realized something critical. Let's go. Without hesitation, Little E moved at once. Though he was confused, he trusted Xiaoyan unconditionally. In an instant, his figure flashed away. Moments after Xiaoyan and the others took to the air, the small hill they had stood on began to shake ominously. The forest trees surged upwards, growing tens of meters in an instant. But before the group could process the sight, they saw something even more shocking. Following the trees downward, an enormous four-limbed creature emerged from the ground. As the creature's back rose, the forest collapsed atop it. The water surrounding the hill began to ripple violently. Roar! A thunderous roar echoed throughout the lowest level of the desert mountains. Its fur is like jade, translucent and pure white. Judging by its size, it must be a magical beast, Little E said sharply. A magical beast. Xiaoyan mused. I didn't expect to encounter such a terrifying magical beast right after entering the desert mountains, Xiaoyan added, his eyes suddenly gleaming with excitement. He had sensed a cold, chilling aura emanating from the beast's body. Little E, can you determine what kind of magical beast this is? Xiaoyan asked, floating in the air as he looked toward Little E. Not just yet, but judging by the fluctuations from this creature, one thing is clear. This beast is at least of Imperial class rank 6. Little E responded, intrigued. Despite the massive size of the creature before them, Little E remained unfazed. After all, as a fire spirit, and with his current strength as an 8-star Do-D, the creature, nearly 100 meters tall, posed no real threat to him. An Imperial class rank 6 magical beast? Mu Feng, who was standing nearby, spoke up with a hint of hesitation in his voice. Imperial class magical beasts were comparable to human Do-Dis, with each rank of the Imperial class matching a star level of a Do-D. A rank 6 Imperial class magical beast was as strong as a 6-star Do-D. The 6-star Do-D was a critical dividing line in the Do-D realm. Many prodigies spent their entire lives stuck at this level, unable to advance. The reason the 6-star Do-D was seen as such a milestone was due to the heavenly tribulation that every cultivator had to endure when advancing to this rank. The heavenly tribulation was immensely dangerous. One misstep, and it could result in instant death. However, those who survived the tribulation would experience profound changes in their Do-Chi. Though these changes were not as extreme as the life and death power wielded by Do-Xian experts, the Do-Chi of a 6-star Do-D after surviving the tribulation was far stronger than before. This was why Elder Zhu had sent Xiaoyan and his companions to the Xinling Imperial Pool. The mysterious energy they absorbed there would only show its true value when they attempted to break through to the 6-star Do-D level. It was also said that there were different levels of the heavenly tribulation. The more tribulation one endured, the more powerful the transformation of one's Do-Chi. A magical beast as strong as a 6-star Do-D. This could be tricky, Mu Feng commented, acknowledging the difficulty. Among them, only Little E had the strength of an 8-star Do-D. The rest were mostly at the early or mid stages of 5-star Do-D, making it challenging to deal with a beast of this caliber. So, what do you think? Xiaoyan asked with a calm smile, exuding an unshakable confidence. We can try, Mu Ying replied, a charming smile forming on her lips as she understood Xiaoyan's intent. Let's do it. Mu Feng and Lu Di agreed. I'm in too. Little E chimed in, eager to join the action. You can sit this one out. The 4 of us are more than enough for this rank 6 beast, Xiaoyan said. You keep watch and alert us if anything happens. All right, it's been a while since I've fought. I almost forgot what it feels like, Xiaoyan said, his body igniting with flames. Let's go. Let's test the beast's attributes and strength first, Xiaoyan commanded as he launched the first attack. In a flash, Xiaoyan's fiery aura surged, heating up the surrounding space. Swoosh! The terrifying speed, combined with the sound of the wind, made Xiaoyan's flame-clad figure flicker through the air. In the next moment, he appeared above the massive creature's back. "Take this!" Xiaoyan shouted, gathering his flames into a fist before swinging down toward the creature below. A strange sound rang out, and to Xiaoyan's surprise, the massive beast trembled and nimbly dodged his attack. "How?" Xiaoyan muttered, bewildered by the creature's agility. His body continued to burn with fierce flames, like an unquenchable furnace. Boom, boom, boom. The creature's body began to shake violently, sending the soil and trees on its back tumbling to the ground, filling the air with dust and debris. "Retreat," Xiaoyan called out after a moment of hesitation, pulling back to stand alongside Mu Yingying and the others as they observed the massive creature. With the trees and dirt falling away, the creature's true form was revealed. It was a beast with powerful, muscular limbs covered in snow-white fur, which looked soft yet radiated an icy chill. As they looked at the beast's head, an intense aura of dominance spread outward. On its forehead was a prominent Wang, king, symbol, and its amber eyes glowed with a mysterious light. As the wind blew through the air, the beast's fur swayed slightly, and in the next instant, the temperature around them dropped sharply. "What is this thing?" Mu Yingying gasped, clearly shocked by the sight of the enormous creature. The snow-white fur, the amber eyes, and the terrifyingly cold aura it emitted left her stunned. "It seems to be an ice attribute beast," Mu Feng remarked, still a bit surprised. At the Imperial class level, magical beasts were highly intelligent and often lived in packs, which made the blood and magic cores of Imperial class beasts even rarer. While a single Imperial class beast might not be too fearsome, a whole pack could easily deter even the bravest of warriors. However, in certain ancient ruins, magical beasts often lived in isolation, which alleviated some of Xiaoyan's concerns. "I had a feeling that something was off as soon as we entered the desert mountains. I could sense faint, powerful presences, but there was no clear aura in this small forest," Xiaoyan explained as he stared at the massive beast before them. "Turns out we were standing on a magical beast's back the whole time," Xiaoyan added. "As I thought," Mu Yingying replied, having sensed it as well. "This snow-white magical beast must be one of the dominant rulers of the desert mountains," she continued. "But what exactly is it?" Lu Di asked as she prepared her poison, ready for any sudden attacks from the beast. "An ice-mark heavenly tiger." Xiaoyan finally identified the beast after studying it briefly. "A natural-born ruler, with snow-white fur. An ice attribute. I didn't expect to be so lucky, encountering an ice attribute magical beast so soon after entering," Xiaoyan exclaimed, excitement building within him. All he needed now was the magic core and blood essence of this ice attribute beast to refine the rising sun pill. With that and the other ingredients, he would finally have what he needed to devour the sacred flame. This magical beast, no matter what, it must be killed, Xiaoyan declared fiercely, his voice filled with determination as a murderous aura surged over the small hill. "Who dares disturb this emperor's slumber?" A deep, displeased voice suddenly boomed from the mouth of the ice-mark heavenly tiger.